What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andrei and today I'm gonna be doing an update on MMTLP and FINRA saga.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
And for today's video guys, I have very interesting news. Just yesterday I told you that Mark Basile is about to file a new lawsuit that according to his tweet is the biggest one in regards to MMTLP case, and definitely we want to know more details about this. And today I will show you an explanation from Mark Basile and Richard Hoffman, some details in regards to this lawsuit. Will it be a RICO lawsuit or not, and what to expect from this lawsuit in details. On top of that, I will show you how MMTLP community is helping DJT community and is helping David News. And I have to say that, again, this is the evidence that MMTLP community is the strongest retail community that is on the market right now. And at the end of this video, I will tell you my personal story. And guys, please watch this video till the very end, because it is very important for me personally. And before we dive deep into all of this, please hit the like button for YouTube algorithm, and please hit the like button for me. This is the only way how we can push this case forward to the broader audience, and eventually it will help us to win this battle. So let's start with this tweet that was published by Junk Savvy just several hours ago. And she wrote this: why is MMTLP always the exception? Metamaterials and Polycars ended trading on MMATF on the OTC with phone calls and emails. No hoops, no loops, no piles of paperwork. When they tried to stop the fraudulent trading of MMTLP, a preferred share dividend that was never supposed to trade, FINRA required mountains of paperwork that would have taken days, if not weeks, to complete. Then they were told to pound sand. Other MMTLP and FINRA exceptions. They violated their own Rule 6490 in composing and editing corporate actions. They released historic MMTLP FAQ and supplement. They fought in New York Supreme Court to deny petition for information previously released for other tickers. They released publicly correspondence with NextBridge Hydrocarbons. They produced completely unacceptable response to the bipartisan open letter demanding answers in regards to MMTLP fiasco. FINRA has refused to work towards a resolution for 65,000 plus investors victims whose assets have been frozen for more than 500 days. And guys, why it is happening? Definitely FINRA doesn't work properly, and SEC doesn't help FINRA and doesn't do anything as well to solve this problem. And why it is happening? Definitely it is the main question, and in my opinion we can see this unfairness because the major market makers are consistently paying to authorities in order to perform their illegal activity. And let me show you how we can fight and how we can win this battle. One of the major paths is definitely a litigation path. And just yesterday, Mark Basile wrote this tweet in regards to the new upcoming lawsuit that will be filed within a couple of weeks. And we have some updates in regards to the details of this lawsuit. Just yesterday, Jink wrote this: I'm no troll or hater. I don't normally post replies. In a brief summary for MMTLP, what happens in RICO case Mark? And Mark wrote this response: well, I was waiting for someone to ask me, since my firm does prosecute RICO cases for our clients as well. They may be a problem for any RICO case. First, you need a well-defined RICO enterprise, and it doesn't have to be an official company. It can exist as a de facto, in fact, enterprise consisting of more than two parties. You also need at least two RICO predicate acts in the last several years. Those factors may not be hard to articulate, but in RICO cases, the pleadings are everything. The biggest issue or hurdle will be separating the securities fraud from the RICO claims, because the RICO laws were amended in the 90s to completely carve out making securities offenses non-RICO, forcing claims only to be brought under the federal securities laws. However, state RICO laws are not barred, but in some states like New York, Only the AG can bring RICO cases, not private entities. Other states you can. There is a gray area here. RICO doesn't apply to sales of securities, so a very in-depth examination needs to be undertaken on how the stock is moved around between brokers, lending, borrowing, etc., and whether those individual transactions constitute a sale. If they don't, it's likely a RICO action to be brought. Then there is a civil RICO that DJT and MMTLP can bring in its own name, or criminal RICO that an LEA must bring. It's not clear-cut, unfortunately. Follow the money, that's always the first start in RICO case. And it is quite a good definition and explanation of the problems that might happen in this upcoming lawsuit, in the filing of this lawsuit, and in the denial of these filings. On top of that, Richard Hoffman also asked him, wouldn't money laundering be a non-securities violation subject to RICO, perhaps tax evasion? And Marco responded, the federal courts have taken a very strict view as to RICO claims of securities are involved. Many of those circuits take the position that if the case touches on securities, RICO is out. However, it may really come down to the definition of what is really a sale of security, as defined under the Act. He also added, also, Richard, while money laundering is a predicate act under the criminal RICO statute, if it touches securities, a private litigant likely could not bring suit, but the DOJ can. And if the parties are convicted of criminal RICO, then a civil RICO claim may be pursued, notwithstanding the securities involved. Doesn't work if the violator settles, need a conviction. Hope this helps. And Richard also added another question. How about if the securities do not exist? And Mark responded, well, the issue is counterfeit or naked short shares, securities. So the issue is securities related. That's how I believe the federal courts will look at it. And definitely we have a lot of tricks from the legal standpoint, but I have to say that it is very difficult to begin this battle. But when you are in it, you have no choice than to continue. And let me show you another quite interesting comment from Mark Basile. Again, Jink made this tweet. Thanks, man. I appreciate your time in responding. Do the shares get seized and or used as evidence in a situation like this? Or is it only the share count that will provide the evidence? And Mark responded, probably not. If there is any securities or RICO violation, damages are likely limited to fines, penalties, disgorgement if brought by the SEC, DOJ, or any state AG. If it is a civil action, monetary damages and cancellation of fake shares could also be included in a remedy. But this is very uncharted waters with lots of possible mines to navigate around. So, as you can see, even Mark Basile cannot say in details, cannot tell us in details what might be the problems in regards to the RICO lawsuit that might be filed soon. And definitely, guys, we have to push this case forward as well, and shout out to Mark Basile because of his work, and shout out to the person who hired Mark Basile to file this lawsuit. Definitely, I think it should be a quite major shareholder with the thousands or tens of thousands of shares of MMTLP, and definitely, when we have more details in regards to this lawsuit, I will do an update to explain you in details and to give my 2 cents in regards to this issue. So let me show you another update from Mark Basile. He responded to this tweet that was published by Amy on April 27. Riddle me this, DJT. If naked shorting is the problem, why is the company giving explicit instruction on turning off share lending and DRS? Why would naked shorts legally borrow and locate shares? And guys, you know that we have a very close, for now, we have quite close relationships in between DJT and MMTLP case, because MMTLP case was mentioned in the letter that was written just recently by David Nunes, and here you can see that it is an attachment to the official letter of TMTG that was addressed to 4 committees and to its chairmen. And because of this, we can rely on two cases that potentially might help us to push our case forward. And Mark, in response to this tweet that was published by Amy, wrote this: simple, it's not one share owned, one share borrowed. It's one share owed and borrowed dozens of times. I will let upcoming lawsuit statement on facts explain it a few weeks. So not so many people for now realizes how the things work. Because if someone has one share and he or she lend this share out, someone buys it from the borrower, and this new owner might use it whatever he or she wants. And definitely, if he or she wants to sell this share again, they can do it. And if this share was borrowed again by another shorter, we have one share that was issued and we have two shares for the short position. And definitely this so-called loophole for DJT stock should be closed, and that is why DJT published these instructions to prevent this share lending. And definitely it doesn't relate it to our case because we don't have any shares of MMTLP or next bridge hydrocarbons that is on the free market right now. Our problem is in illegal U3 halt, and we pretty much have a screenshot of the situation that happened back in December the 8th of 2022 when this U3 halt was implemented. And that is why, guys, our situation is quite unique, because for now we have all the evidence frozen at that time on December the 8th of 2022. And that is why if someone mighty can step in our case, we can definitely show all the evidence of this illegal activity. And guys, guess who might be this mighty man? Definitely it might be Donald Trump right before the election date. And on top of that, guys, I think Donald Trump will step in because David Nunes is extremely active in regards to his case. And again, we know that our cases are tied up together very closely, because it was mentioned right here at the very last paragraph of the letter that was written on April 23rd of this year. So let me show you how our community is helping the DJT case. John Burder reposted this tweet that was published by 100MPH just yesterday, and 100MPH wrote this: pay attention, DJT. Investing Otis understands why you have a legal naked short problem. And he refers to this tweet that was published by Odysseus. Let me quote you this in details. Click this link for the open Fiji results of QSIP 25400Q105, Trump Media and Technology Group, DJT. You will see all the exchanges were traded and options for DJT and DWAC. And here's, if you click on this link, you can find this information. And here you can see all the exchanges where the DJT ticker symbol and DWAC ticker symbol was ever traded. And you know that the short sellers, illegal short sellers activity starts from the options activity. And options are derivatives of the underlying assets. And the more stock exchanges these wrongdoers use, the less effective the activity of authorities might be. And we know that they are not so active even to regulate the major stock exchanges. But if you switch the ticker symbol to other minor exchanges, it might be even more difficult for them to perform this activity. That is why, guys, we have the naked short-term problem as a major problem for entire market. And that is why market makers and the wrongdoers are trying to do their best, because it is a free money for them. They don't need to do anything. They just need to issue these counterfeit shares and sell them short in their position. So as simple as that. On top of that, guys, let me show you this. Dennis Neal published this tweet just a couple of hours ago, and he wrote this: can somebody please get me to David Nunes so I can invite him to come on What's Bugging Me podcast? And if you have any connections with David Nunes, and David Nunes is extremely active right now, as I already mentioned, because he has skin in the game, he wants to solve the problem of DJT, and definitely our solution is extremely closer to the solution of DJT problem. That is why we have to help them as well, and we have to expose these wrongdoers, and we have to show this problem to the broader audience. And guys, from our side, what can we do right now? We can do the same. We have to contact to our Congress member. Let me show you this call to action. Call your congressman's office and ask your representative to contact James Comer's office to express support for an MMTLP congressional hearing. On top of that, guys, if you have any connections with your congressman's office, you can schedule an appointment for Richie for his upcoming trip to District Columbia. And to do it, you have to contact Jen Capella and write her directly in the DMs, and you have to give her all the information in regards to this potential meeting. And guys, let me tell you my personal story. I have a wife and 2 children aged 11 and 15, as well as a small dog. After 30 years of living in Russia near the Baikal Lake, we decided to move. Now we reside in Serbia. Although I don't own any MMTLP shares, I invest a lot of time creating daily MMTLP videos. I have been doing this every day without days off and holidays for more than 1.5 years. Now I wish to buy back this time from my family, from my children. We've agreed that I will ask the MMTLP community to support me, and I will give all the money to the children. Therefore, if you believe that I am providing useful content for you and wish to support me, you can join my Patreon account. For $5 a month, I will add your name to my list of supporters if you wish. Thank you in advance. The link you can find in the description below. So, I think that's all information that I want to provide you. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and see you guys and girls next time. Bye!
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby,